Closers, welcome in. It's your boy Jacob. This time, me and Chad, we wanted to loosen it up a little bit. We're just having a little story time. Big motivation with this podcast is to bring you some more interesting content. You know, we thought that every person that thinks about podcasts, especially having one, thinks that just all their cool stories or their after shift conversations about who pissed them off at work. We wanted to avoid that as far as just having those conversations all the time. We wanted to give you a little something of more substance. But today we said, fuck it. And we're just going to tell you some of our best stories. And hopefully you enjoy them, of us just shooting the shit, a little more laid back. And thanks for listening to Who the Fuck Closed Last Night. Here we go. We got the thumbs up.
We got the thumbs up. It's happening. We're back for another one, man.
We're in it. I don't know what episode this is.
I don't either. Yeah.
That's okay.
That's great.
I'm glad you're listening.
Yeah, seriously. Thank you guys all for still listening. And we love just continuing to see more and more followers, man. This has been a cool journey so far, dude.
This is sick. You know, this is the first time we're recording after people are already listening.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. We love you already so much.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm Jacob, by the way. If it's your first time.
And I'm Chad. And this is Who the Fuck Closed Last Night, man.
Yeah.
Let me try that again. This is Who the Fuck Closed that.
Who closed? Who the fuck closed last night?
Closed last night.
Service Industry Podcast.
Yeah.
We're based out of Denver.
Mm-hmm.
That's important. It's important to mention at this point.
I would say so.
Unless you want us to not be based out of Denver, hit us up.
We'd like to travel. We'd like to hear places that we should go, industry spots, to find out your stories. And speaking of stories, we're going to do a little
story time.
It's story time, baby.
Yeah, we didn't, like I said, I don't know when this is falling. Who knows when this is coming out?
Who knows?
But we got some great plans in store. We know you guys love hearing our guests and our interviews. Maybe not more than you like hearing just us, but we just know people that are cooler than us, I guess.
Yeah, we know some really cool people, man. And we love hearing their stories, man. We've enjoyed, and we want to bring more and more people like that, people in our industry, and get their stories. But today, we're just going to tell some fun industry stories of our own.
Of our own.
Yeah, just some weird ones, bro.
I don't even know exactly where to start.
Right.
I'll start with the first day that I worked at my first restaurant. Right. This is a little quick one. I was working in the kitchen at Zaxby's, as you would know if you listened to episode 1 of Who the Fuck Closed Last Night, available on all streaming platforms. I was working in the kitchen, training in the kitchen, and I just remember I rolled up to place some fries maybe, or to restock some sauces. Mm-hmm. And I had non-slip shoes on, which do not always work as well as you would hope they would work. Yeah. I mean, this is straight up my first day. I maybe had come in and done a training day or two. It's either my first actual day of working or my first day off of training. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So one of the first days I worked ever.
Yeah.
At all. And I had some fries in my hand. I was running up to the guy that was sort of expoing on the window on the drive-through side. Mm-hmm. And I just caught something slippery and just boom, just feet right under the line.
No.
And I know from the angle of the drive-through people and anyone who maybe happened to be watching from the lobby, just shoop, right down.
Just 6'3" guy just disappears.
Just down, dude. And that's actually it. That was one of many falls I've experienced in my time. Slippery. I've gotten really good over time of slipping a little bit and then catching myself.
Oh, yeah.
Because floors at restaurants, they're slippery.
Yeah, man, because there can be not only just water, but there can be oils that have been spilled by somebody in the kitchen. It can be a treacherous place. Like I always tell this to somebody who like, have you ever had where you like spill an entire tray of drinks?
Oh man,
It's it's the worst, dude. I always tell people this story when they like have a bad spill or like destroy a bunch of drinks. I'm like, I promise you, it's not as bad as this time. I spilled multiple things back to back. So it was at the Alamo Draft House, and I thought I was going to multitask because we had this little ice bin, and I also needed to refill the ice, but there's a whole tray full of milkshakes that I needed to take to the front too. I was like, I'll do both at the same time. I'll just put the tray on top of the ice bin. This will be perfect. And I get all the way to the front bar, which is like, a concrete floor. And I go over the change from the carpet to the concrete, and that tray just spills an entire tray full of milkshakes. And I'm like, fuck, I got to go mop this up. So I go mop it, and there's like 50 people in that bar area. I go to get the mop, and as I'm pushing out the mop, in front of a theater, the entire mop bucket spills just all over the in front of a theater.
Like inside the theater?
Like right in front.
As you would walk in?
As you would walk in. And so then I go to the front. I finally get the mop bucket up there. And the entire place is like, it's quiz night, and the entire place is like very silent. And
So you're just in front of all these people.
yeah. And I'm wondering why I'm like, I did this like a long time ago. I don't know why you are. And I find out that a guy had walked through the milkshake stuff and had done what you did, just
a full, like, feet up cartoon.
And he was actually on the patio getting checked out because he hit his head.
Oh, man.
And so I'm feeling terrible. And then like I mop it up and I go to the back and I see that in front of the theater that another tray of milkshakes had spilled because a server had walked in. Just did the same thing. So I
just a comically infinite series of people slipping on each other's milkshakes. The movie never starts.
It just never starts. I was like, yeah, dude, I like probably gave somebody a concussion. Like, I don't know, dude. I destroyed like 20 drinks. Like
by proxy of spilling one milkshake. Incredible.
Yeah, just a domino. It was just stupid. And somehow I kept my job, The owner, like I told him what happened, and he was like, oh man, that guy would be fine. That's why we have insurance.
There you go. I mean, when you think of it's a very dangerous environment. Any sort of restaurant, bar, coffee shops, everything's hot. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Everywhere. Hot and sharp and slippery.
Yeah, man. It is a treasure. How many times have you like cut yourself at work?
Oh, dude. Cutting has been just too many. I mean, I can't believe I've known so many, like especially bartenders and stuff that have like lost just ends of fingers and stuff. Mm-hmm. Or chefs. No, chefs are just all burn up and cut up. They don't even notice anymore. Right. Like you tell them I cut my finger, they're like, oh yeah, you cut your finger. They like show you their hand with like 2 fingers on it. Yeah, or whatever.
Like a pirate.
Yeah, because they're badasses.
They are.
But I mean, yeah, when I was a fry cook, I would get burns all the times. I got a good burn recently while cooking at the house while drunk, which was awesome. And that just reminded me of all the times it just would be rocking. Just an armful of oil burns and how long it takes to actually stop being like the coloration, you can see it, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm still like discolored on the arm there. Anyways, so I don't know. I haven't kept track,
dude.
The last week at work, actually, I ended up with 2 cuts. The only thing I will say, I know we are representing bartenders a lot, but you deal with citrus juice so much, and sometimes you don't realize you have a cut until juice gets in your cut. And I I had my one hand, and I went to open a bottle of Aperol, and I the little metal part where it separates the seal just poked my finger, and I was like, oh, I am bleeding. I can't make this Aperol spritz now. So I go to the back, put a Band-Aid on, clean myself up,
Get the little
come
finger
back out. And then like the next drink I was trying to make, I was like splitting some ice cubes, like some big rocks for like an old fashioned. And I like slipped in my hand, hit the metal of the fridge, the ice cube fridge. And then I started bleeding again. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. It's like, is this not just going to be a series of me hurting myself and having to go back to the first aid? Because I'm not about to try and... You got to go. You have to immediately leave if you have a single drop of blood.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get that on anything of anyone's drinks at all.
Yeah.
So I definitely ran through a lot of... what's the stuff called? Liquid skin? It's just super glue. Super glue works better, actually.
It does. Yeah, actually. Yeah. It works great.
That's
man.
usually my go-to move.
Yep.
Dry it, clean it, liquid skin, Band-Aid, little finger caught,
Oh, yeah.
tiny condom.
Little finger condoms. Yeah.
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 I'll wear 4 of those before I wear a glove, though.
Oh, 100%.
For like an injury, I guess. I should
Exactly. Because like having the whole hand covered up with a glove, like it just gets, your palm gets so damn sweaty the entire time. It's just
I also think
so
I look
annoying.
like, I don't know why I think I look like a tool when I'm a bartender wearing gloves. Like a glove bartender?
I don't trust that guy. Are you not
I've
watching?
seen some glove bartenders out there.
Yeah.
I've worked with them.
Yeah.
I mean, I love you guys,
Yeah.
but what?
Just wash your hands.
Yeah, dude.
What are you doing?
I don't trust them.
I don't trust him. Yeah. What? Yeah. How filthy are your hands at all times that you
Yeah.
have decided that you needed to?
Yeah, don't trust a gloved bartender, all right?
No. Yeah. Exactly.
Is
Yeah.
why does he need those? What's going on?
Exactly, man. All right, dude. Give me your one of your funniest random, not a regular, random guest.
Well, before we get into that,
yeah.
you know, we've talked about a lot of slipping, and slipping on the floor is a really dangerous thing at restaurants. So that brings us to this week's sponsor. I'm kidding. That'd be a great plug
That would be such a great
for a
plug.
sponsor. So if you want us to talk about,
Yeah, if you've got actual non-slip shoes that would like to sponsor us, that'd be great.
see how smooth that would have
That
been.
would have been so sick.
It is a slippery place.
It is very slippery. Yeah.
We try to keep the floors for where guests are non-slippery. I don't think I've ever seen a slip. Today for story time, I wanted to share my best story, I feel like I've already told. I'm pretty sure I already told the lady dying at Olive Garden story.
I just want to hear it again.
A death at the Olive Garden is crazy.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, if you've heard it before, you're going to hear it again.
Yep. Yeah.
I'll give you the quicker version.
Yeah.
We were serving this lady, and she fell out of her chair, and then my manager was nearby, and she just shouted, "Does anyone know CPR?" And her husband just looks at her and is like, "She's DNR." Yeah, this lady was going to go home and die, but wanted to go to Olive Garden first.
Yeah, get them breadsticks before you.
Yeah, the breadsticks were terrible that day.
Oh no, dude! On our
They
last,
were like a little burnt.
on our last day, you
Or the
guys
yeah.
gave her burnt breadsticks.
I didn't give them to her. I wasn't serving her. I gave the table away specifically to another guest. Or another server. That's what was crazy. I was working in the bar, and then there was this whole thing. I had these guests that I was serving in my little area in the bar, and they were just a table away, like not technically in the bar, just in the next section, and they were just sort of looking like, what's going on over there? And then it all happened pretty quick. Obviously, the manager called the fire department. The fire department came in. They just immediately were able to declare this woman dead. And that was so it was a long-winded scene of things that were occurring.
Right.
And this table of mine, they were like, what's the term? They were rubbernecking. They were like, let me look at the thing.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what other people are dealing with.
Yeah.
It's a human thing. Roman Coliseum. We want to see bad stuff. It's in you.
Sure.
Don't slow down to look at a wreck when you're in the car. Just mind your damn You know, that's what I'm going to tell listeners out here. Mind your damn business, dude.
Mind your damn business. Absolutely.
In general. But we all tend to not mind our damn business, so I do get it.
Sure.
But they were like, what's going on over there? And this is what happens when you don't mind your damn business and you want to find out. I just looked at these people and I was just like, oh, that lady just died over there. Anyways, like, are you guys ready to order? And, yeah, straight. I can't believe that. The way I talked to people when I was working at Olive Garden, I can't believe I got away. I could never do that at restaurants I work at now.
Right.
Or have for the past few years. I was like, yeah, that lady died. Yeah. What can I get? And they were like, we're not hungry. I was like, oh, really? Did you lose your appetite? Because you
had to know what somebody else.
Yeah. You had to. So I didn't feel bad for them. I did grab a vegetarian, the soup with beef in it, because I was a little out of. I was distracted.
Of course.
I did feel bad about that.
Yeah. Well, then,
And-
yeah.
I tried to explain it to him the best I could.
Right.
It's like, my bad, dude. I forgot that you told me you were a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Because there was a lady dying.
And it wasn't. Yeah. So sorry to break your sobriety.
Yeah. My bad, dude. No, I mean, I made a mistake there. You know,
Right,
I apologize.
Totally.
Gave him I don't know what I did for him, actually. I can't. This was years ago.
Yeah.
The part that got me was the server looked at me while it was occurring and said, I can't believe this is happening again.
Again.
I was like, dude, we have to talk about this.
How many
And then-
times?
Well, I guess he was a lifeguard or something, and he had dealt with someone dying, something like that. Me and him and another coworker, because it's like a morning shift. We were all on doubles, and I said, hey, can we take a break? Are we allowed
Does this warrant a 15-minute?
15, 20, I took a break. I was like, guys, I am going to pour some drinks for this break if you guys really want one. I don't think you would normally be allowed to have some drinks at Olive Garden on your break, but we just went to the back empty section and took us a little drink break, had some salad breadsticks, some burnt breadsticks, and yeah, we did make jokes. Thankfully, it was three people who deal with death and intense emotional experiences with a bit of comedy. So we did end up, which hopefully it didn't come off like we were just laughing about this lady dying, which is a very serious situation.
Very serious.
You're
yeah.
going to die somewhere, man. It might be Olive Garden.
Sure. It could be. Yeah.
If you don't want to die at Olive Garden, don't go to Olive Garden. I definitely wouldn't. You know where I wouldn't want to die, Chad?
Where's that?
Chick-fil-A.
No, fuck Chick-fil-A.
Fuck them.
No, I would never want to die in Chick-fil-A.
Unless it was on a Sunday
You just broke in.
where I broke in, I cooked my nuggets that I only want on Sunday,
Exactly.
then died.
And then they found
Just right in the
Jacob.
middle of church.
They wouldn't find you till Monday.
Yeah.
But you'd be full of them nuggies. Didn't your manager?
Oh, yeah. That was a funny moment because the husband, I mean, these were very elderly people.
Sure.
I'd say they were either incredibly unhealthy or well over 80 into their 90s type of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel there's a point in life where you start to really come to terms with you're at the tail end. You're ready to go.
Sure.
And he just walks over with the bill because it sort of happened after they were saying they were done. She was ready to go home. She was probably feeling like she was getting close to dying, if I had to imagine.
Right.
And he brings the bill over. I was like, sir, I think you're good. Like, I think you don't have to pay for food
Yeah.
when someone in your party dies on site.
I think that's a good policy.
And then I see the manager walking over with the catering menu. It's like, hey, you're probably going to be feeding some relatives soon, right? And at first I was in shock. I was like, no way, she's squeezing in sales right now.
Right.
Thankfully, she's like, we would be so happy to give you food for any of your friends and family. This is like the large format stuff.
Yeah.
I just,
I was like, oh my God. Oh, whoa. Because there was a moment where I was staring back at her. I was like, there's no
not about
fucking
to.
way you're doing this right now.
But it was an offer of like
Totally.
that's actually very sweet. That's very
No, it was very
nice.
kind.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
Yeah, as far as I know, she's still at one of the Olive Gardens in the greater Colorado area.
Good.
They also, this was a time where, you remember Bacardi 151?
Oh, yeah.
Overproof rum's still a thing, but Bacardi doesn't make it anymore.
Yeah.
But there was a period, I was drinking a lot of their Bacardi 151 at the time. I don't really know what that has to do. I was probably drinking it that day. I was probably drunk on Bacardi 151 that day, actually. I've had these various phases where I've drank more at work than other times.
Sure.
That was one of those times
Yeah.
where I was like, there's
Probably
no,
thankful
they're not,
for it.
yeah.
Yeah. At that point, like,
Woo.
my God, dude.
Don't drink at work, guys. I'm saying that on record. I would never.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, I was
Anymore.
I was definitely purchasing it after shift is what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, dude.
Yeah.
That
was a big one.
That's
that
a
was
big one.
story. I feel like it makes all my other little stories sound not as good.
I still want to get to the other ones,
Yeah.
I've got some of my favorite things is like especially coming from the bartender's perspective, people will tell you stuff that they would not tell other people, even in their family. Sometimes every once in a while you get that guest, and I had this guy.
Oh wait, so you had like a I've never told anyone this sort of story?
Absolutely,
Dude.
absolutely. Oh, it was the best, dude.
That's why I'm always wanting to pick up like hitchhikers in case they tell me something crazy.
Exactly. I love getting some weird ass story from somebody I'll never see again.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the best, dude. So this guy comes into my bar, and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing, man?" And he goes, "Oh, dude, my shoulder is just killing me." And I was like, "Oh, all right, yeah. What happened to your shoulder?" It's like, "Oh yeah, I was playing tennis all week with this smoking hot lady, man. Look, it was my high school reunion this weekend, and this girl and I, we used to have a big thing for each other, and she asked me to play some tennis, but we just ended up banging all weekend, dude. And I'm married and stuff, but
Is that exactly how you reacted like me? Where he threw that detail in for you just then?
absolutely. I was like, what?
Smooth.
And he was like, well, every once in a while you got to just, have a little fun. I've been married for 20 years. And I was,
Just cheat on your wife.
yeah, just, you got to cheat on her every
Yeah.
once in a while. Fucking crazy thing to say. And so he's like, so, we had a great time. And, yeah. And I was like, all right, man, did you want a beer or something?
Get you something to drink.
Yeah. And he just said, he goes, oh no, man, I actually got to go to the airport. I just really needed to tell somebody. And then he just walked out. It was amazing.
Incredible.
It was incredible. He was like, I just got this secret that I've done some really terrible things, but I've really, at this point, I think it's awesome. And I need to tell this bartender that I had an awesome weekend cheating on my wife.
Yeah, he'll never remember.
Exactly, dude.
He's never going to tell anyone. Where were you working specifically at the time? What date, time frame?
Oh, yeah.
What do you look like?
That was a barbecue joint off of 75, and that was probably 2014.
2014, huh?
Yeah.
75 and...
I'm guessing he went to the Richardson High School. Was probably the reunion.
Oh, yeah, it's probably... he's going to the Richardson
20
High
years,
School
so he
reunion.
probably graduated 74,
Okay.
something like that, or 74 or 84.
Yeah, he
Probably
did, you remember... He didn't tell you his name, probably.
He did not tell me his name. He didn't want me to know anything else other than that. It's incredible, dude. I love those little confessions from. You'll get it every once in a while. It's usually not your regulars, though. Your regulars will tell you deeper stuff.
You can get in there, man.
You really can, dude. Yeah.
There's just so many, and sometimes these things are just so ridiculous. I mean, I had this situation happen the other night where I was bartending, and this dude came in, And in the neighborhood that I work in, people definitely bar hop around. So I always have to kind of make sure, like, hey, is this guy drunk? He didn't seem like super intoxicated. He did sit down next to another guest and started chatting him up, and he was being cool. Mm-hmm. I think his name was John.
Yeah. All right.
Which it makes telling the story way easier. But he started chatting up the dude next to him, and this guy, he wasn't drinking his drinks very quickly, but he kind of seemed drunk. I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to kind of watch this guy. And also in my neighborhood, a thing that's common is escorts.
Oh.
There's this game we can play this is in a lot of parts of Denver, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or really a big thing in restaurants that are really places you have wine. I was going to say finer dining, but not even really finer dining.
It's just wine.
It's actually just places with wine.
Yeah.
Finer dining, like hotel bars, neighborhoods that are wealthier areas, that sort of thing, all kind of catch this umbrella. You'll have these, escorts. And this lady came in. I never am judging. I'm never assuming anyone is.
Yeah.
And there is this fun game that's played in bars and restaurants called Dad or Daddy.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is pretty funny.
Yep.
I'm not good at guessing it. Actually, I have a terrible judge of character with that.
Right.
I also don't care. Who gives a shit?
Whatever.
But this lady walks in, and the way this whole story pans out, this dude was acting kind of weird. He starts staring at her, dude, and he's like smiling. And you know what you don't do? Look at people and smile that you don't know for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
But then we were worried. We're like, dude, are we about to have to tell this guy to literally stop staring at this woman?
Right.
But she seemed like she was okay with it. And he asked, he's like, can I come sit by you? And she's like, come on. And the way the whole story, I ended up talking to him after she left and stuff, because there was a moment where he scooted away from her after talking to her. She was like, why'd you scoot away from me? Did I make you uncomfortable? And he was like, no, and then I ended up talking to him because I was like, I'm going to be responsible for getting this guy out of here.
Right.
He had ordered some extra drinks. I kind of kept, he was not drinking a lot of it. I was getting rid of it and I was trying to make him feel like he was served, but definitely not serving more alcohol because I'd identified this guy's been drinking throughout the day.
Sure.
But I was trying to be graceful. I don't want to make a scene. There are other people dining, a pretty full restaurant at the time. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing that he ended up telling me was he had been he'd recently broken up with his girlfriend of a long time. It was a really hard breakup. He had started, because he has money. He was looking around online for
companionship.
Women to give money to I don't know, whatever they do, go on a date with you, or I don't. Sex work should be way more legal. Okay, let's just say how we feel about that in case my opinion comes off any other way.
Oh, absolutely.
More power to those women. They should have protections and all sorts of shit like that.
They absolutely should.
But he was just telling the stories like he was getting involved. And he ended up having some sort of run-in with what he called a Russian pimp, which sounds awesome, like to be a Russian pimp. But this lady, basically he thought this lady was someone he was supposed to be meeting up with.
Oh, no.
And her reaction was, oh, no, I am an escort, but I'm not supposed to meet you. I'm having a drink after work. I've already done my jobs for the day.
You're not my client.
And that upset him. She was like, no, yeah, I actually would love to talk to someone that's not someone paying me right now. She's just super sweet.
Oh, man.
And he told me that whole story and was telling me about getting threatened by some pimp. I was like, dude, I feel like maybe you don't have the discretionary abilities to deal with these. I feel like you're just not a good customer, man.
Right. Yeah. You should.
John, I'm not trying to. I think maybe you should just relax a little while. And we were able to get him out of there and stuff. No problem. He's like, can I get another beer? I was like, no, dude.
No,
I can't get you another beer. I'm so sorry.
I think you're going to have to go, bro.
But that was just an interesting dynamic because unless he had told me, I didn't know. But I was like, damn, dude.
Oh,
hey, did you go to the wrong bar? What happened?
Right. Amazing, dude. I love those. I love those little interactions. So when working at the Alamo Draft House, it was a weird thing because being in the front bar, depending on what movie was screening that weekend, would change your customer base drastically. So for like, the Avengers, it would be a bunch of nerdy people that would get one drink. But movies like Magic Mike and 50 Shades of Grey brought the horniest middle-aged women all weekend. And those ladies wanted to get plastered. They would come out with their friends.
They were partying,
They
dude.
were partying, dude. Before, during, and after the movie.
Oh, yeah, you can drink at the Alamo Draft House. So you can just get...
Oh, dude. And we would do these special screenings, rowdy screenings, stuff like that. The first 50 Shades of Grey, there were stories that happened across Alamo that became famous. One of the Austin theaters, when they were cleaning up the theater, there was a cucumber in the one of the seats that was not ours.
Oh, man. Chad.
That just, it had been,
That's disgusting.
It's disgusting. It had been pickled. And the
Like... Not prior to the screening, is that what you
prior
mean?
to the screening? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But my favorite, so the front bar, I'm dealing with these. Like I had a couple that was regulars, and they were going to see it, and he told me he was like, hey, when my wife walks in here, you don't know her. I was like, okay, dude. And they had this whole sexy scenario where he was like hitting on her for the first time after letting another man like hit on her, so they were doing this whole sex game in front of me, which is fine, but like I didn't need to know, man. Like you guys do your thing.
Could have just done that, dude.
Could have just done that. But my absolute favorite one,
It's a great way to keep it spiced up, though.
oh, it was, and good on him. Unfortunately, that movie sucks a lot. It's a
Well, they were
terrible
able to
movie.
leave.
Yeah.
It's better than the guy that cheated on
Way
his
better.
wife for the reunion.
Hey, do a fun little scenario.
Yeah, keep it-
don't. Yeah, if you got an agreement, follow through. Anyways, my favorite was this one. These women. It was like 5 women. They were drinking before. They drank afterwards. They came to my bar, and they were hammered, and I could not serve them. But one of them from the other side of the bar saw me and said, "I'm gonna fuck that guy." and everybody heard it, like to the point where another 15 people just looked at her like,
Everyone knows.
like we all heard you, dude. Like I heard you. And then she comes over and she's trying to hit on me, and I'm just trying to get her. I'm like, "Do you have a cab? Do you got an Uber coming?" Stuff like that. She's like, "You and I are going to fuck later," and I was like, "Right, okay. I need you to get in." She's like, "I'm gonna give you my number," and she writes something down, and then she gives it to me, and then she gets in her Uber, and I open up the piece of paper, and we saved it for months afterwards, and it started as a number and then ended as an email.
This is how you get in contact with me.
546@gmail.com. There you go. It's amazing, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like especially the bars. Bars, watering holes, is one of the better places to meet people. Way better than the grocery store.
Way better than the grocery store.
But we in the industry really just get to see it all.
We hear everything you're saying.
Oh, and we love, especially at the bar.
Oh my God. Yeah.
If you're anxious about that, sorry. I mean, I'm listening.
Yeah, dude. Like I look like I'm just polishing a glass or shaking this
Yeah.
cocktail. I've got bar ears for days.
But I don't care. Like
Right.
the thing, I had this duo, or I've had this scenario a lot of times. 2 friends sitting down, spilling tea to each other, and when I come over, they like stop talking. I'm like, or they say something that's abrasive or intense.
Right.
They tell me someone else's business. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know your friend group. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
them. it's bringing me in more that you're saying sorry that you just said something than just talking. I am focusing, especially if you're in front of the bartender that's like making all the drinks.
Yeah.
The well bartender. That my awareness does stop right there. I will catch some of it. Unless you're someone that I know, I genuinely, you could be using people's names.
Right.
I may be pretending in my head that that's Chad that I know or whoever, but I know it's not them. And the chances that it is the drama of them, I still have no idea.
Right.
And I'm going to forget. But in the moment, it is one of the most interesting things for me.
Oh, bro.
It's like way better than reality TV.
Absolutely. How many breakups have you seen?
I don't think I've witnessed too many breakups. I have witnessed what maybe later turned into a breakup.
Sure.
Or definitely couples fighting, which makes me more uncomfortable than anything. Not that my comfort matters in that scenario.
Right.
I've seen it at tables.
Yeah.
Especially when a dude's just like, maybe they're at that part of the relationship, which I've experienced, I'm sure you've experienced, where you just kind of hate each other. Or
Sure.
you're just fighting all the time, you're bickering.
Yeah.
And even though you're trying to salvage your relationship and go out for a nice dinner or something, but you just can't get over the fact that one of you is ruining everything. You're probably both ruining it and should break up, in my opinion.
Sure.
Instead of arguing at dinner. But I've been in that scenario, and you want to interject.
Yeah.
I mean, I've experienced when I've done Lyft driving, I've had people like on the verge of a breakup or fighting, and I'm like, one part want to cry about it because I'm like, I feel like I've been in this situation. Another part just want to be like, both of you want to make a point, and you should just remember that you love each other. Right. Shut up and order this delicious appetizer.
Yeah. Absolutely, dude.
I mean, it's just one of those situations where it's like hearing a friend and their partner fight, right?
That's
Except
terrible.
you don't know them. You're just, I shouldn't be here for this,
bro.
But you guys came to me. I have things to clean back here.
Exactly. I gotta do. This is my job, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, because every fight that every couple's in, if you were to listen to it from the logical outside perspective, it sounds dumb. Obviously, you're all wrapped up in your emotions, but you're like, are you guys literally fighting over who did what when you were getting ready for dinner?
Yeah. Like, why is it this deep? I know, man.
It happens.
I did actually one time interject, because normally, like you said, it's just so uncomfortable, and you're almost just like, man, I wish y'all would have had this fight another place.
You guys take this outside.
Yeah, exactly. Could you do this over the phone? I don't know, dude. Could you just enjoy? Anyways, this couple seemed fine at first. They were at my bar, but the way that this guy was talking to his girlfriend bothered the hell out of me, because she was talking about going back to school for her master's in some other state, and he was adamantly against it, and she was very suspect. But I've been thinking about this, and he just kept going, shut up, you just shut up right now, just shut up. And he just kept berating her, and then just like doing that like whisper yell thing.
Oh yeah.
And the amount of times he
Chad,
told
why
her,
did you? Why?
Exactly.
Just be quiet.
Yeah, and then every time she started to say something, shut up, and
Oh my God. It was escalating.
It got to the point where I just couldn't. I told my manager, I was like, dude, that's it. And I walked over to the guy, and I was like, hey man, you're gonna stop. If you tell her to shut up one more time, we're gonna have a problem. And if we have a problem, you and I are gonna need to step outside. And this guy went quiet, and he went to the bathroom, and he came back, and he had red eyes from crying, and he apologized to me, and then tipped me like 100% on the tab.
Nice.
He left.
That's a great reaction to that.
That's an appropriate reaction. He left. His girlfriend stayed behind and continued to try to hit on me and try to get my number. So the moral,
Chad?
I actually didn't. I didn't want to be a part of that scenario. But the moral is,
Right.
if you fucking berate your girlfriend in front of a bartender, bartender might tell you to go home, and he might take home your girlfriend, and you deserve it.
That could happen.
Could happen. But yeah, that's the only time I was like, I have to. Like, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy.
This guy sucks.
This guy sucks so much, dude.
Well, not only should you not be speaking to your partners aggressively like that at all,
Right.
And I say that as someone who has definitely been a bad guy in my relationships before.
Sure.
That I know better now.
Right.
Should have learned sooner. But everyone's at their own part of their journey.
Exactly.
But yeah, public forum is not the most ideal place. And obviously, if someone intervenes, maybe it is best long term, right?
Right.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I can't even pinpoint any exact thing because I have seen so many variations of different things.
What is that?
We're near a gym.
We are near a gym, just so y'all know.
And someone is working out at such an incredibly steady pace right now.
Yeah.
And I hope that it's not, because I can hear it. Of course it stops when we...
I can't even tell what they're doing.
Is it only starting when I start talking?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Anyways.
So apologies if there's some ambient noise happening. There's some people that are being healthier than Chad and I are right
They
now.
are. They are.
And that's just part of our experience in life right now.
More than the breakups and arguments are always obviously uncomfortable. We've touched on this before. My favorite, though, are the first-time dates.
Ooh, a first date.
Bro, they're juicy. They're
It's a good time, especially when one of them always arrives early.
They do.
And lets you know. And we always want to protect people as much as we can in our spaces. Coffee shops are probably big for you. I don't know if there's any part of the industry. I know our chefs and all of our heart of house friends don't get the enjoyment of these. And hopefully when this stuff happens, you're going back to the kitchen and telling them these juicy stories.
Absolutely, you really should, because it's exciting.
I've never had them not enjoy. I've never had a line cook or anyone not enjoy when I tell them what the fuck just happened.
Yeah, dude.
You're like, you're not going to believe what happened, dude.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm having a hard time remembering some of these stories, because I had it. I told someone.
Bro,
I was like,
and
this
it
is
was
crazy. All right, let's go get a drink after work now.
Yeah, dude. Well, because they are. They either, like, they're fun whether they work out or whether they don't, but you can gauge how it's going throughout, right? Like, you can see it.
Yeah, I've got a good one for you.
Give it to me.
This one's not really a first date situation. This is just a crazy story that I had. It's a bar that I have gone to frequently. So I'm in this bar. I'm friends with all the coworkers or all the people that work there. I'm friends with most of the people that are in there at this bar at the time. There was one girl that was working at this. It was like a late night bar. And she had just gotten off work. The owner was there. like all of my homies were there.
Right.
There's this whole thing. And some dude walks in. He's being all drunk. He is just too intoxicated. I don't know if he was being served or not. He grabs one of the bitters bottles. People touching they're touching your stuff. Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch the bartender's stuff.
Ever.
He's grabbing, he gets all mad because the bartender tells him that he's not going to serve him another drink or something like that, or he's just an aggressive, angry drunk or something. And he goes to, he grabs a bitter bottle and, asks, he's, acting like he's going to throw it at him. He's like, dude, what are you doing? And then the female bartender, she's just like, dude, stop. She's just kind of being cool. She's having a drink after work, whatever.
Right.
And then he starts... I wasn't listening to all of it at this exact moment. And he kind of threatens her or something. And then the owner looks at him and he's like, dude, will you leave my fucking bar? Don't worry about your tab. Just get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, kind of like a no, fuck you thing. And I was standing there. We all started we're like, oh, whoa. Didn't the owner just tell you to leave his bar?
Uh-huh.
And then bartender's just kind of like, yeah, dude, get out of the bar, dude. And the guy stands there, he's like, fuck you guys. And it's the entire homie group surrounding. I think he was with some other guy. That guy was like, oh, I got to get out. I was like, no, thanks. He's around, dude, get out of the bar. He started just getting more aggressive. He's like, dude, fuck all you guys. We're like, and then he literally said, if you guys don't back off, I'm going to shoot every one of you. And at this time, the bartender had walked around and he's like, well, that's it. I'm calling the cops.
Yeah.
And then the dude like swats our bartender. This is the guy that's serving all of us drinks at the moment. He swats the phone out of the bartender's hand, and then it was over, dude.
Oh.
This guy got dog piled. It was intense, right?
Yeah.
And then of course I was like, does this guy actually have a weapon? And then sure enough, I like got into his pocket. Dude had a loaded weapon.
Jesus Christ.
I pulled it out. Thankfully, one of the guys that was with us was like a gun guy. And I was just be like, here you go, dude.
You deal with this.
Yeah, anyone involved in the story that's listening definitely knows exactly who and where this was. I don't want to put this story in any space, but I just handed it. He just immediately disassembled the gun, which was kind of sick. And the dude, I mean, we didn't kick the guy's ass. I think one of my homies put a few licks in on him, you know, just to knock him back a little.
Yeah.
He looked like he had already been in a bar fight.
So
Once
he was just
afterwards, we
looking-
looked at him. I was like, dude, this guy, I think, has been going around town. It turned out to be a dude from Texas. We were not
course.
in Texas at the time, who was just, he definitely got arrested and caught him. But if you are a weapons guy, you are no longer allowed to have those if you're consuming alcohol.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure that's the case in every state.
Absolutely.
Concealed carry or whatever, you can't do that.
Can't, no.
be intoxicated and have the weapon. Those rights do not align.
Not
I mean,
at all.
whatever laws you want to follow, by all means.
Exactly.
But that was super intense.
That's incredibly intense.
However, the owner was like, "Dude, get these guys. Everyone here, you can drink here
for the rest
for the
of the
foreseeable future, man.
Yeah.
Drinks are on me, dude.
Oh, holy
So
shit. Whoa.
whatever it takes to get free drinks at a bar. For me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that was crazy. I mean, there's a lot of bar fight stories and stuff, and especially in more divey type bars or just drink only late night stuff. We've probably all seen it happen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Never really see them happen with weapons like that. In my personal experience, I feel like people don't get. I even had one time I had a real drunk chef. I was working at that restaurant that I worked at that closed that we've talked about.
Right.
Right before we closed, he came in. He was all hammered. He's some chef. Mm-hmm. I wish I could remember his name so I could drop it right now because that guy was a dick. He works in Aspen for some hotel or something. This guy, whatever. He was being just a jerk to me and all the staff for kind of no reason. And he was like, "Well, dude, I'm a chef." I was like, "Well, yeah, chefs. Just because Gordon Ramsay yells at people doesn't mean you get to think you're the shit." He also has TV shows that he gets ratings for that. Mm-hmm. He's probably a way sweeter guy in general.
I've heard he's a very sweet guy.
Yeah,
in real
I
life.
can imagine.
Yeah.
He got so upset with me that he ended up. I was trying to be respectful. I was like, "No, dude, I was asking." My chef one of the chefs recognized me. I was asking what you thought about this food because you're known for seafood or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he thought I was coming after him or something. He stood up. He ripped my shirt open. It was kind of awesome because I was like, "Dude, what are you doing right now?"
He just.
I was like, I didn't really mean to upset you, but I'm sorry. And then I just sort of like. My manager watched it all, and she is a sweet woman and was being super sweet. And she just talked to him and just sort of diverted his attention. And then she closed him out. He ended up tipping a bunch. I don't know.
Wow. Well,
So I guess this guy, he's a piece of shit except for when he tips well. I guess maybe that's his thing. He goes around and he's just like, "Well, I'm going to be an asshole and then give him money because I need to yell at someone."
Right. Yeah. It's better than.
So many
Yeah.
little things.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it seems to have no boundary on what type of restaurant these sort of crazy things can happen or what sort of bar.
Absolutely.
I'm sure plenty of tell us your stories.
Oh yeah.
That's part of why we're doing this. We want you to send us your stories.
Please
hit us with
absolutely.
the DMs.
We'd love to react to your stories.
Yeah, send us a video with it. We'd love to feature you on the website.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Get involved, man. We want to hear these stories because me and Chad, we're only two people and we know how crazy this shit can go.
Exactly, man. I got another one for you. This is my.
Yeah, I interrupted you.
Oh, no,
talking,
you're
you were
fine.
talking first dates or something like that.
Yeah,
We're
this is
jumping all around.
We are because this is story time. This is my favorite Tinder app, whatever date. It was the same. The whole scenario of like Guy shows up first. He's kind of looking around. You know, they do the thing where they like think almost every single girl could be the girl. Because let's face it, those apps sometimes
Catfishing is a thing that happens.
it is. So it'll be like, oh, so this one is maybe she changed her hair. Anyways, the date seems to be going well. They're out on our patio. They end up being the only people on our patio. They've had probably like 3 drinks, which 3 drinks on a Tinder date, that means it's going pretty good, and of course I look out there for a second and they are full on making out, to the point where every time the server goes out there, it's very uncomfortable, Look, man, like get yourself a smooch, all right, get yourself a smooch, that's fine. Full on making out in a restaurant's real weird.
It's PDA rules.
Yeah, dude. Like, come on, man. Like, give it 1, 2. But if you're, especially a place where
Get a room, right?
a room.
That's the classic. Oh my gosh, the classic thing.
the classic, yeah. Go.
So you guys are clearly
home.
into each other.
Yeah. Finish off somewhere else. Anyways, so the server comes in and she looks so embarrassed, and she's like, "Chad, they went to pay and this guy's card declined." And I was like, okay.
Oh, that's why I was doing all the making out. He knew that was coming.
Exactly. I was like, well, you're going to have to ask him for another one, She was like, can you do it? I was like, no, dude. Like, you got to figure this out. Like, this is
your table.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
Is your
all right, this is going to happen eventually, It happened to all of us. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. Like, sometimes, things happen. Your bank gets flagged, whatever. So she
You
gets
don't know how
out
to
there.
spend your money. That's what it is.
That's probably what it is. I don't want to, so she comes back in and she goes, "Chad, he gave me another card and that one declined as well. Could you please go out there?" And I'm like, "All right, yeah, dude." And so I just walk out there, and I'm used to this. Being in the industry long enough, I'm just like, "Hey, man, this one didn't work either." Just hand it to him and let him figure it out. And the girl ends up paying. Which is, hey. And then the server comes back in a little bit later, and she's like, "Chad, she can't find her card, and they keep saying that I took it, and I don't have it." She was like, "I've checked by the POS system. It's not in my apron. It's not in my pockets." We looked around the table, and so I go out there. I'm like, "Fucking fine, all right, I'll deal with this." And I'm like, "Hey guys, so my server doesn't have your card. Could you just check your persons one more time?" And he opens up his wallet, and her card is in his wallet.
Hell yeah.
You could have heard him. So this couple of us has been making out. It's just like,
The guy had the card in his wallet.
And it could have been a thing of he put down 2 cards and he got in that motion and he was
he's
so
like,
embarrassed
"Oh,
that but it straight up looks like you tried to steal this girl's credit card.
Yeah, in that moment.
Yeah.
Man, did they seem like they went home together?
Oh no,
Was it all ruined?
I watched him leave from the window. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It went from them full on making out to that kind of slight goodbye hug.
Yeah, know your worth.
Exactly. Yeah, girl, don't.
Or know the lack of worth the other person has, I guess, in this scenario.
Yeah, check your bank account before you go on your first Tinder date. Really, really gauge if you're. But it was amazing.
Yeah, man. That's
my server was mortified. She was like, "I'm just so embarrassed." I was like, "Why? That's the funniest thing I've seen."
that's amazing.
It's amazing, dude. Yeah. Oh my God.
I thought story time. We just got out of hand there for a second in terms of just stories back and forth.
Yep. Yeah.
And I don't want to take too much more of our listeners' time right now because we've rocked and rolled for like an hour now.
Yeah, dude. It felt like it flew by
Or something.
Yeah. I think we could go.
There's a lot more stories is what it is.
Stories.
I've just kept having more.
Yeah.
So we can save those for another time.
Yeah, and again, we want you guys to please send us videos of your stories. We'd love to react to them on the podcast. We'd love to post you on our page. Give us your weirdest anything.
Wackiest stories.
Yeah.
First dates.
Oh my gosh.
Spills.
And
Crazy bar fights.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about a time that you had someone piss on your guests. I had that one. That happened to me.
That was Postino.
Why? I feel like I felt like I did. Have I told that one, Ben?
Shout out Postino Broadway.
Shut up,
Postino on Broadway,
You
man.
got crazy there, dude.
I had.
This is the one to end on.
I'll tell you that one real quickly.
Let's do it.
I can't. I feel like I've told this on here before again.
We
Maybe I'm just
haven't.
experiencing deja vu.
Yeah.
I was serving these. It was the middle of the day. This lovely Mexican family of ladies. It was like 4 generations at the table. It was one of the most like heartwarming vibes. I don't know if they were having a family reunion
Yeah.
or if this is how they do. They were the sweetest. And some Broadway guy.
Yeah. Broadway's friends is what we used to call them.
Yeah. Broadway friend. He walks in and one of the ladies told me what he said. He essentially looked at this family and in Spanish said something along the lines of, "I'm going to kill and eat your babies."
Jeez.
Like the ones that were there.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't know what he said to him. He just kind of rolled up on them. They were close to the door, so he was able to like, skirt in real quick.
Yeah.
And then he started trying to grab the bottles that were on racks because there were bottles of wine on racks. I was like, dude, get out. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah.
And he, of course, got the fuck out of there because, he had to. I told him, and it worked. I was worried it wasn't going to work. He looked like he was really on a mission to cause some mayhem. Mm-hmm. So he busted out, and of course, right down the sidewalk, he just skirted around, which I thought he was fucking off. And then moments later, there was this whole thing on the patio where somehow this dude had just angled himself right, and the patio was right next to the sidewalk. So you're just eating and your back's to these like bushes. And somehow this guy managed to start pissing like on the back of the bench that this guy was sitting in. So he just feels some warm water and then turns around and realizes that this guy's pissing on him. And reasonably so, freaked out.
Of course. Oh my God.
And of course the server, I of course ran over because for some reason you and I at our time at Postino Broadway were the
Enforcers.
deal. Were you there that day or that was a
No,
that
I was not there that
that was
day.
you. Maybe you came in later and we told you or something.
Yeah, next day. I
Yeah,
heard
we were
about
the
it.
ones that was like, Jacob, Chad, go deal with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I look like this. I look like I should deal with someone pissing on someone. The dude had bounced.
Right.
He
right.
was not. We couldn't catch him and deal with him like that, which is part of that sort of experience on Broadway or in places that are more active.
Yeah.
With varying levels of vagrancy.
Yeah.
And I caught this guy who was up and he was having a bit of a freak out. And I was like, I was just running around the patio. I was like, dude, I know you're upset.
Yeah.
But you can get so much free shit from this restaurant right now. I just feel like you really need to ask for more. Whatever they offer you is not enough. You should just ask for free everything forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And he was definitely in an escalated state, so he didn't necessarily appreciate how funny the take was and how good of an opportunity he had.
Yeah.
And I think the manager at the time rolled up with hundreds of dollars of free.
Oh.
Yeah, get anything else you want. And, here's infinite gift cards kind of thing, $500 or some shit. I was like, dude,
Oh, dude, that's it.
I want like lifetime, everything.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I want,
I want to be able to come in here and just.
yeah, but I was just trying to catch. I was like, dude, this is a good moment for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Food wise, they have other locations. You don't have to come to the one you got pissed on. I wouldn't.
That was my favorite because I heard about it the next day from Robert, who was managing, and he told me about it, and he was like, and he was still frazzled from it, and he was like, Chad, I offered him, like all these gift cards, and like, we covered his meal and all this stuff, and I did everything I could, but he said that he probably wasn't coming back to this location, and I was like,
Yeah,
no shit. He got pissed on, my dude.
yeah.
Like you can't recover that.
Yeah, there was probably a point in that day where I was like, if it had happened to someone that was into that,
It'd be
and then you could just act upset. You're like, dude, I actually
That was actually pretty awesome.
Dude, it was cool. I've always wanted to be pissed on by a homeless man, and I got free shit because I acted like I freaked out.
I tipped him $100 on top just because, thanks.
Yeah, I usually have to pay way more for that. That sort of experience. Dude.
That's a great one to end on, bro.
Yeah, I mean, please, if you work on Broadway in Denver, I know you got stories, or you work on Colfax.
Come on.
Send us videos, man. We'll hook it up. We'll post you up. We'll plug your whatever page. We want to hear the stories.
Yes, please.
That's what we're going for here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's, I guess, how we'll close up, huh?
Yeah, that would close up shop, baby. All
Don't
right.
piss on people on patios.
Don't do that. No, it's not nice.
Yeah, unless they pay you,
Absolutely. Yeah.
or they're gonna get paid.
Thanks.
So,
There we go.
lesson of the day.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching or listening to Who the Fuck Closed Last Night. We'll see you. We'll see you next time, man.
We love you.
We love you so much.
Hope you enjoyed that one as much as we enjoyed making it. It was a super chill time. Hope you feel like you're just sitting in that silly little room with us with all those fake plants. We got another tune from Blake Reitnauer, our absolute boy. Follow him on Instagram at internetslang_LTD. That's the music Instagram he has. He also does these really ridiculously fucking awesome charcoal drawings, and he posts those at Blake D. Wright. That's BLAKEDRITE. So give him a follow on Instagram. Show him as much love as he showed us by letting us use these tunes. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Who the Fuck Closed Last Night. Thanks for joining us.